The time has come. We're back to work on the OBS. I gotta pull up all this tape, and then it's time to drop in the new engine. Potak over here getting it ready. He's getting a little antsy. I gotta hurry up and get the... Oh, I know. I gotta get this stuff off so we can get going, so I better get at it. Well, I'm glad that's done. A lot of you guys mentioned in the comments that we should have used aluminum foil on a lot of the wiring and all that. I definitely should have done that because it was not too easy to get it off the wiring, but it's all done. It's in the past. I know it for the future, and now time to move on. So this is step one, Potak?
This is probably step one. Is this the first reassembly we've done?
I believe so, yes.
Start with the motor mount, end with the engine. All right, Kobe. Kobe. So, these are the same left and right. So I already wire brushed the bolts. We'll probably touch them up with some black paint. I'm just gonna put one bolt in and let it kind of hang there.
We do already have the suspension figured out, and most of the parts are on the way and being fabricated, so it's a pretty awesome setup. I'm excited to get it in, but we don't have it yet, so we're just gonna go ahead and get this, go ahead and get the engine all in, get it all mounted up, get it running, get it driving. That's not really gonna hinder us either way doing it later, so that'll be a down the road thing, hopefully real soon down the road, but we'll first get the engine in and get it driving. Okay, so we got those engine mounts on there. Now it's time to put the engine mounts here on the engine. I actually have to go run an errand real quick, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass the camera off to Russell, and yeah, so he'll take it from here, get the engine in, and I'll be right back. Russell, you're up.
All right, guys. Well, looks like you're going to be with me and Potak now. Seth had to step away for a little bit, but we got the Dirty Dingo slider mounts here. Looks like some cool stuff. Potak's here figuring out how we're going to put this together and get it all configured in the truck.
So they send these spacer plates, which I guess just kind of more or less adjust it from the block a little bit. But whenever this is configured, we'll start in like the middle, I guess, with the bolts. And then we could slide it forward or back, you know, as needed to put the engine where we want it. And both sides kind of have the same setup. So the passenger side and driver's side, like that. They came with all the accessory bolts, even the big motor mount bolts that go through the motor mount. So these would go on the frame mounts that we just put in. I'll do this from the back. Much like that. And then we'll put the bolts in, and we'll have one on each side. That looks like it. That's the first time I've done that. That's good it went on there that easily. But we'll put the bolts in, kind of mock it up, and then when we get the engine in, we'll test for fitment. Areas of concern are the oil pan to frame always. Make sure none of the sides of the block are hitting the frame anywhere. If the oil pan's an issue, we'll have to buy a different oil pan or notch the frame. I'd rather buy an oil pan than notch the frame myself, but we'll see how it goes. I haven't done any fitment on this yet, on this truck with the LT style engine or Gen 5 style engine. So we'll just put it together and go from there and see how it fits.
Awesome.
So Dirty Dingo mount, passenger side, that's easy with the arrow to the front. I don't think you can mess that up.
Yeah, pretty foolproof.
It only uses 3 of the bolts. The stock one uses all 4 bolts. This one will use these front kind of 3. I put just a dab of red Loctite on them too, just so they don't back out, but we'll torque them, and they have lock nuts and washer and stuff on it. And my plan is to leave these loose, so you know, wherever we need that engine, we could set it basically right exactly where it needs to be.
Yeah, just adjust it as we're doing it.
Right. Well, one of the tricky things is basically you want both of them to be in the same spot so the engine's not tilted left or right too. You want the center line of the crank to point directly back. That's about the halfway point in the adjustment.
Yeah, I see that.
Almost forgot something.
What's that?
So the truck engines have the vacuum pump right here, since the truck engines have AFM, and that little vacuum pump has an oil feed, which is this one. Oil pressure is right here, and then the oil drain back, so we have to plug those off. And I already have the plugs, I just didn't put them in yet. So let me grab those real quick.
Good to know for the folks at home.
The top plug for the oil feed. We'll put that in. It's really only an issue for the truck engines. If you buy like an LT1 6.2 from a Camaro or a Corvette, this won't even be an issue because it'll already be plugged. If you buy a brand new block, you have to plug these every time now, unless it's going in a truck and you're reusing that vacuum pump. The oil pressure here is a lot higher than up on top where the oil cylinder is too.
Yeah.
I monitor on the engine dyno. Down here will be like 80 psi, and up top where the oil sensor is will be 40. It drops a ton.
Is that something you see mainly on just the LT, or have you seen?
Well, on the
like
LS stuff, it's basically anything right off the pump's going to be higher because nothing's been bled off. Once it starts going past the filter, you start having the cam bearings take a little bit of oil pressure away. It's a little bit of drop in the main bearings, the rod bearings. These have the oil squirters too, so the oil squirters take a little bit of oil pressure. Hey, thanks for ruining my video.
I wanted to introduce you to my sideburns.
Huh?
Dominic's got the pork chops cooking.
Starsky. We're gonna start calling him Starsky or Ricky Bobby. Ricky Bobby was another.
Yeah, that's probably more appropriate. All right, well, she's back on the ground, ready to get this engine put in. Things are looking pretty clean in here. You guys remember last time Seth went ahead and painted the engine bay here, just got it cleaned up a bit, looking better than the way that it was before.
Oh no, we ran out of plastic wrap.
Well, that's an issue.
I think we'll be okay. I told Seth we needed some Texas Speed fender covers, but I don't know what happened to that.
What do you guys think? Texas Speed fender covers. Would y'all go for that? Would y'all want Texas Speed fender covers in your garage?
I need some at home.
I mean, we need them now, so maybe soon to come. We'll see.
All right, so we're gonna take this guy. Oh, that's heavy. Heavy stuff, man.
Kotak's gonna go ahead and wheel her over.
I'm ready to send this engine home.
The time has come. Oh, we're gonna maybe hit that.
We're good, man.
Man, Kotak's pretty skilled. He's an expert on this one.
It's in. Done.
Those engine mounts are a little bit back though compared to where we got the engine at. So
Yeah,
once we get it lower, I'm sure we can slide that back some and get it a bit closer. It's looking good so far though.
Just try to lower it some more. Well,
Like a glove.
it looked like a glove, but we still need to check it, make sure nothing's hitting,
Oh yeah.
because it's not bolted down yet, but I think it's up against something. But we'll check it and make sure. But yeah, that actually looks pretty decent for just lining up the motor mounts 5 seconds and dropping it in. I'm a little bit worried about the pan because it does stick down quite a bit in that one spot. But
Let's see. Let's take a look. Oh no, I can't see. I can't see anything from down here.
I can't really see anything from here either.
See from the front.
I think it's hitting on this side.
What do we got, guys? I can't see.
Maybe right here. I hope he didn't ruin my shirt. Oh man. that
Oh
thing's
yeah,
twisting a lot.
she is leaning back.
No, I probably can't do this
Yeah.
because I don't want that thing to slide. Well, let me see. The bad thing is it's not going to tell me where it's hitting at if I have it cocked over like that.
Do we have a strap or something that we can
Yeah, I
use?
could put a strap on it.
Kind of steady for the meantime.
Yeah, I've done that before. Just strap it to the sway bar so I'll just strap it up from sway bar, just put some bolts in it. That's easy enough to do. That's a pretty good idea you had there.
Yeah, I have those once in a while.
Are you going to use that on your Porsche swap?
Maybe. We'll see.
I'll let you use this ratchet strap.
Really?
Yeah.
The Potac ratchet strap?
I stole this from Jason or Trevor, actually. I
Oh,
saw it
man.
in the back of their truck. I'm like, mine now.
So that's why they were all mad that one day when they were looking for their strap.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was you.
This is it.
This is
This
the
is
one.
exact
This
strap.
is the strap. Jason, Trevor, we found your strap. It's here.
Let's get this out of the way and we'll lift it up and kind of look under it, see where we're at. So this side is good. This side not so good. So we'll have to figure something out for that. Right now, we'll just keep on going and kind of see what else we might run into. I could probably move the engine back a little bit, just initially looking at right here, this bell housing area. Before I do that, though, I want to fit the transmission, because another area of concern is the tunnel. If we were running like a transmission the truck came with, a 4L60E or a 4L80E, probably wouldn't have to worry about clearance issues right there. But our transmission, a little bit bulkier. So I want to make sure this doesn't need any clearance from the floor. So I think the next order of business is probably fitting the transmission. We'll worry about the oil pan, but we'll order whatever we want to do. And we'll have to pull the engine out to do the oil pan, but we could make progress and put the transmission in and see what else we have to figure out. The exhaust, we have to check our manifolds and see how our manifolds fit. Before I put the manifolds on, we may take our L83 headers. What truck is that called? Oh, what is it, a 13? 2013 or
14 and up.
2014?
Yeah.
2014 and up headers. We'll take our Texas Speed headers and see what the fitment is before we put the manifolds on. Because ideally we'll put the manifolds on first, get it running with manifolds, so we have basically a stockish baseline.
Yeah.
And then kind of go from that baseline up, put our headers back on. But I'd like to test fit the headers just to see, if our A-arm's getting away, or if the frame gets in the way, or the body gets in the way. That'd be kind of good information to know before we go and put headers on. And we could always fab up headers, but if we have something on the shelf, I'd rather use that because it saves a ton of time.
Yeah, it'd be real interesting if they did fit. I mean, that's something we could market as well. I mean, people would be pretty excited.
Yeah, especially if we don't have to make
shelf header fit.
Yeah, especially if we don't have to make any changes, it just goes on. And usually the truck stuff, like if you're doing a truck swap, truck parts from the original truck usually fit an earlier truck. It's a GM truck throughout its life.
Yeah.
And a lot of dimensions end up being the same. Like you can see the oil pan is really close. So like if we were putting like, what's the common 5.3 that everybody puts in? L33?
Like the L33, the LC9.
LC9, I think that was the LQ9.
LM7.
LM7, that's the
Yeah.
one I was thinking of. But if you take out like one of those that was in every Suburban and Tahoe ever made, almost everyone, it's going to be similar as far as the frame depth. So you don't have to worry too much about ground clearance. Basically, if your oil pan is even with or even slightly below your frame, you're usually pretty good. Most of them are going to be up pretty much flush with the frame.
All right, so back from the airing. Now let's see where they're at on the truck. Oh, got the engine in, huh?
Seth, welcome back.
Looking good. You guys knocking it out quick. I wasn't going that long.
It's nice that you went to Sonic and didn't bring us anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's my Sonic drink that I got while I was there.
Like I said earlier, I'm a little bit worried about the transmission tunnel because we don't know if that 6L80 is bigger in the middle than like the 4L60. It just looking at it from the side, it looks a lot bigger.
So it's about time to get that up in here and find out, or what?
Yeah, I think that'll be our next thing. And this is all for mock-up right now. So
I'd like to look at it from the top, just because I haven't seen
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm ready to see this beauty in place. We did decide to go ahead and keep the box. Everybody said keep it, so we got to go along with it and keep it. We're gonna turn it into an ice chest or something. You know, maybe we can run the AC through it and keep it cool and drinks. Oh yeah, that is looking good. It looks pretty far back.
Yeah, from the top it does. You know, when you look at it from the bottom, it looks like it could go back a little bit, but it looks actually about perfect when you look at it from up here.
It looks sweet.
And it even looks at about the right angle of where it needs to be. Of course, we haven't ratcheted in just to kind of mock up.
Safety first.
Safety first. Yes.
Nice.
Exactly.
Now we got this sweet direct injection system to figure out here.
That's easy. We'll worry about that when we get to the fuel system. We'll do everything kind of in groups. So like we'll do the exhaust system one day or one morning, then do the fuel system one day. And we'll just kind of keep everything together so it's all separate, so people can kind of see what's involved with each segment of the swap. Because you're addressing a lot of different things. You're addressing the engine, the mounts, the exhaust system, the fuel system, the cooling system, the transmission, the wiring. There's just a lot of basically mini installs going on at the same time as you're doing the engine swap. So we'll just try to keep those all separate.
And I know we haven't got this thing started or dynoed yet, but I'm already ready to get the heads and cam on it. I mean, come on, this thing's got to have some lope to it, but I understand we got to test it first stock just to see what kind of power it makes versus the stock, you know, what was it, 5.7 in this piece? Yeah.
L31.
L31. So now we got the L83 up in here. Looking good.
Oh, some parts came in, Seth.
What do we get?
This wiring stuff came in. So I ordered, you saw in our video, all of our wires were loose and just marked. So I ordered, I think this is a 20-pin connector and like a 12-pin connector. And basically what I'm going to do is terminate all of those wires and put them all in a bulk connector.
Nice.
Now, there may be some stuff we don't use, but the wire will be in the terminal. Basically, if we don't use it, it won't be on the other side of the connector. So there's a male and a female side, and I'm doing that for basically the L83 side and the OBS truck side. And so I got a couple of different ones. I counted the wires out of like the fuse box and basically bought connectors with 2 extra pins on each one. And then we're missing one, but this is going to be the one that goes inside to the the throttle position sensor. And so we'll string all of the wires on both sides to go right to the electronic drive-by-wire throttle pedal. So this is the, I think it's TXL wiring, so it's automotive rated. You could buy some cheap wire, but it's not rated for automotive use. So this is basically what the factory uses. We'll wrap it up real good, tape it, put some lume on it, and it'll look, nobody will even know it's there.
Let me see if I can handle this job real quick. Hey, good to go, good to go. I think we can fire it. All right, now that we have this mocked up in here, time to get the transmission in.
We're cheating. We're using the engine sling to lift it. Because we're all pretty much dying if we lift anything.
It's too heavy, okay? we don't want to hurt ourselves. Work smarter, not harder. You know the whole spiel. So we'll get it up on here. Get it on the transmission jack. Get it under.
I've never done this before. I think it'll go up high enough.
Extend it out to 200
I
pounds.
already put it to the 500 pound that we made up.
Custom.
Custom, I wrote it. I mean, this is science right here.
Science at its best. Physics, it's math.
Well, technically, it's probably 0, because look, it goes from 2,000 to 1,000, and that's subtract 1,000. 1,000 minus 1,000 minus 1,000 should be 0,
It's
right?
the safety location.
Or is this half?
It's obviously holding some sort of weight.
It's
so.
hard. Uh-oh. We got a problem here. There's been some bad math.
Nope, still doesn't work.
Some bad math here. Okay. we're all about safety here at Texas Speed. I mean, when our safety officer says we shouldn't do something, we don't do it.
It's definitely not because we were too lazy to lift this. That wasn't the
about laziness.
That wasn't the
It's all about
case.
safety.
Safety first.
Look, we got whatever this thing is. We have the strap, we have the tools, we have the technology. Why overexert ourselves? As you said, work smarter, not harder. You know that Miley Cyrus video where like I came in like a wrecking ball?
Yeah.
What if we did that with Dominic? Like, look at this thing.
Is this beefcake rated?
Yeah. Hold on. He could just swing us across. We'll have to clean out some cylinder heads. But you know he will do it.
He would.
He would do that.
I'm not sure how safe it would be though.
No, it's not safe. We have to make sure the safety officer isn't around that there. Alright. Good enough. Take this back.
Alright. Time to see if this mounts up and hopefully doesn't hit anything, fits in perfectly, and we'll be done here.
And then we could go to
Get some wings.
wings. Oh man. It's gonna take all day.
A few moments later.
A few moments later.
A few moments later.
Oh no.
We're out of
We're out
extension.
of jack. So we do have to lower it a little bit. Let me lower this a smidge.
Getting close though.
Yeah, it looks like it might barely fit.
You might want to get out from under that just
Yeah.
for extra safety purposes.
Actually, I'm gonna lower this.
We want to make sure this is OSHA approved.
Where's my safety glasses at? Okay, I'm
That should be good.
Just focus a little bit more. Okay. Now hit the up button until the safety lock's on. Okay. Do this again.
Let's see what we got here. Don't mind this smashed oil filter here. That's custom.
That's good. That's the break-in oil filter.
Definitely broke in.
Yeah, it's broken. Out of the way.
Oh yeah. Heck yes. How we looking?
Wondering how much clearance we have. I lost my flashlight already. It doesn't look like we have a lot.
Hey, as long as the transmission bolts to that engine, we're good to go. Good to let her rip.
So this goes like this. There's a way to put this in. It goes in like super easy. And I've never been able to figure it out. It's like this.
There you go.
There it is.
Third time's the charm. Oh wow.
I need to
Wow.
go up a little bit, and then it's gonna crush the door or the thing. Actually, I could take out the transmission mount, and we don't have to go up anymore. I'll just do that. It's easy.
All right. Real close. Looks like it might mount right up. All right, guys. Well, it may not be all bolted up yet, but we do have the new engine and transmission in shop truck, so I'm pretty happy about that. It's been a long day, pretty tired. I haven't been working on the truck a whole lot, but been running around like crazy since early this morning, so I think it's about time for some chicken wings. So hey, we'll check this out, take a look, a little more clearance, and then we're out of here. So see you guys tomorrow.